Bridget has had to deal with more than anybody should, but particularly kids. She is a very resilient and strong little girl and very strong-minded. She takes everything in her stride, and her cancer treatment wasn't any different. She certainly didn't like any of it, or the majority of it, but as long as she could understand why she had to have it, she was open to continuing to trust us and the medical staff to do that, particularly the really good team of nurses. Took quite a lot of convincing for some things, particularly the discussion about at the very beginning when it was all new about why she was having this, that she was going to lose her hair. For the first week, absolutely refused, then started waking up saying, is it gone yet? And then, by the time in 12 days when it did fall out, she was used to it, and it was it was fun. She had relatives and she shaved daddy's hair, and she had fun with that, and she really took it in her stride. So she's a very, very happy-go-lucky kid. She had really bad temperatures, and when it would go from really high to really low, there was about an hour in the middle when it was dropping where she would feel well enough to be able to sit up. And I remember 2 o'clock one morning sitting up and saying, "Mummy, quick, go and wake Sophie up." And that was her best friend. And because I want to play before I feel sick again. And that's Bridget. She knew she was going to drop again, but yeah, ready to play. AML is a very aggressive leukemia. They refer to it as the old person's leukemia because it's very common in aged people, but in children it's quite rare. So there's generally about 10 children in Australia a year. Unfortunately, Bridget's one of them. Really aggressive leukemia that needs to be treated aggressively, and it's a very fast-acting leukemia. So the treatment is shorter compared to a lot of the others, but so is the mortality rate, I guess, if treatment isn't morbidity rate if treatment isn't successful. She didn't have a very big chance at the beginning, and with treatment it's increased. She's in remission, but the chances of relapse are still quite high and still quite scary, but she's doing well at the moment. Fears for the future. Love not to have to answer that and say it out loud. Oh God. If this comes back, the chances are really bad. And we know that from her friend. My hopes for the future is that she doesn't have to go through anything that she's already been through again. A lot of the chances of secondary cancers and all of those other things that can come from just the treatment to get rid of AML is always in the back of my mind. I just wanted to be able to be a normal kid and do the things that she wants to do without having to, take a myriad of medicines or go through any more pain. And I hope that she doesn't ever worry the way that we worry about her future. I hope that it's never in her mind about, time frames, and I wanted to live to a very ripe old age and, bring more smiles to a lot more people. If you can find it in you to make a donation today, it would make a difference, not just in the life of a sick child like Bridget, but into the lives of everybody that child touches, whether it be parents, grandparents, community, friends, family, even the staff that they come into contact with at the hospital. The funding goes to research that gives these kids a fighting chance. It gives families in the future that, will go through horrible experiences like this hope, and it keeps everyone able to, get up and fight the good fight and beat these things. We wouldn't have her with us today if it wasn't for the research that's already been done in recent years. We wouldn't have had the opportunity to have, our baby girl with us, and, Lawson wouldn't have a big sister. So with everything in our being, thank you for the support that you've already given and for the support that we know you'll continue to give in the future. You really are making a difference.
Thank you.